Was Satan really called Lucifer in the premortal world? If so, wouldn't it be a bit strange to call a devil who tempts us to do evil a light bringer? When and why did we start associating Satan with Lucifer? Welcome to Spirit Stories, Conversations with the Unseen. The unseen world is astonishing, glorious, and full of light. The beings there have stories to tell of Jesus, eternity, and the laws that govern all things. I'm Dr. Jen Bessire. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I gather those stories and share them with you. Normally, like I said, I gather stories from the spirit world, and this episode is going to be a little departure from that, so let me know how you like it. I was completely on the train, the Lucifer-Satan train, and from what I've seen from looking online and going through other Christian religions, it's very, very common and deeply ingrained in our traditions in the Christian world to just accept that Lucifer is Satan. They're the same person. But I just learned recently from a wonderful energy healer, intuitive friend of mine, Cheryl Compton, that that's actually not really the case. And I want to share that with you because our understanding of scriptures is dependent upon our understanding of the language and the words and the meaning behind the stories that were used to write the scriptures and that come into our scriptures and our understanding of them today. So if you look at the Bible, if you look at the Book of Mormon, the Pearl of Great Price, and the Doctrine and Covenants, the word Lucifer only shows up twice. And it only actually shows up in the King James Version of the Bible. It's not even in the other translations of the Bible. And there's one place in the Doctrine and Covenants where it shows up. And in the Doctrine and Covenants, Joseph Smith talks about Lucifer being fallen, the son of the morning, the standard story that we accept as Lucifer. From my looking through the Joseph Smith papers, it doesn't look like Joseph Smith had intentionally put effort into trying to understand the meaning and the naming of Lucifer. It's more likely that he probably just accepted that name based on the King James Version of the Bible. And why would he not? We've all done the same thing in Christianity. But there's a lot that tells us that that's not actually really the case. So let's look at how it came to be. Lucifer is actually a Latin translation of a Hebrew word, Halel. And what happened is that the King James Version of the Bible, like I said, it's the only version of the Bible that has that translation for the word Halel. Halel actually only appears once in the Old Testament. As the Bible was translated into Latin back in 405 AD by Jerome, he came across the word Halel and decided to translate it as Lucifer into Latin, which potentially could be a little odd because he, as I understand, had a pretty good understanding of the Hebrew language. So for whatever reason, he decided to translate Halel into Lucifer. Halel is a word that means morning star or shining one. And it actually refers to the morning star Venus, which is seen in the night sky. So it was kind of an interesting choice for him. Lucifer, from the Latin, comes from lux, right? Lux, we would say lux probably, meaning light. Lux meaning light, and fere meaning to bring or to bear. So therefore, we get the common interpretation from the Latin of Lucifer as light bearer or bearer of light. And this word appears in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. And in this case, the standard understanding from biblical scholars, which I am not, by the way, is that it was used to refer to the king of Babylon and to his upcoming downfall that was prophesied because he was leading the people astray and they were worshiping idols and false gods. Venus being one of the gods that was being worshipped. And so Isaiah was using this word, morning star or shining one, to give false acclaim to the king of Babylon and calling him this as a false way of acknowledging his greatness and prophesying of his eventual downfall. Jerome translates this word into Lucifer, and then we get the translation of the King James Version of the Bible in 1611. And when that happened, for some strange reason, instead of Lucifer being translated back to the original Hebrew, it was kept in the King James Version. And before this, we have Dante's Inferno in 1320, which also used Lucifer as the proper name for Satan. And then after the King James Version of the Bible, Milton's Paradise Lost in 1667 also used Lucifer for the name of Satan. So not only was it kept in the most recent, or this translation of the King James Version of the Bible, and it's still in that version today, but it was popularized through Dante's Inferno and Milton's Paradise Lost, which are still read in popular works today as well. So this story of Lucifer being fallen, a morning star, a son of the morning, being fallen and becoming Satan, really came to us through a translation of the Bible and then went out through popular cultural stories. And that's the story that we have continued with. There are other places where the same word Lucifer was kept, but it wasn't translated as Lucifer. In Job chapter 11, verses 17, it reads, "When you think you are consumed, you will rise as the morning sun," or you will rise as the morning, as Lucifer. And Job 38:32 says, "Do you know the laws of heaven, or can you establish their rule on the earth? Can you lift up your face to Lucifer?" Lucifer being the constellations. Can you lift up your face to the constellations is how that word is translated, because it's referring to this morning star. And then in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19, it says, "And we have the prophetic word more firmly established. You do well to pay attention to it, as to a lamp shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the morning," Lucifer, "rises in your hearts." So this word Lucifer was translated back to its original intent, being the shining one or the morning star or the dawn, in all of these other cases, except for this one verse in Isaiah. And so we've got this story that has continued to come forth throughout the years that doesn't have a biblical background or basis for it. Even if we look at the Pearl of Great Price, this is Moses chapter 4. "And I, the Lord God, spake unto Moses, saying, That Satan, whom thou hast commanded in the name of mine only begotten, is the same which was from the beginning, and he came before me, saying, Behold, here am I, send me. I will be thy son, and I will redeem all mankind, that one soul shall not be lost. And surely I will do it. Wherefore, give me thine honor." And in verse 3, "Wherefore, because that Satan rebelled against me and sought to destroy the agency of man, which I, the Lord God, had given him, and also that I should give unto him mine own power, by the power of mine only begotten, I caused that he should be cast down. And he became Satan, yea, even the devil, the father of all lies, to deceive and to blind men, and to lead them captive at his will, even as many as would not hearken unto my voice." We don't have Lucifer in that verse. Even in the Book of Mormon in 2 Nephi chapter 2, verse 17, reads, "And I, Lehi, according to the things which I have read, must needs suppose that an angel of God, according to that which is written, had fallen from heaven. Wherefore he became a devil, having sought that which was evil before God." So all we really know is that there is a being, Satan, right, who was in the beginning, Moses chapter 4, that Satan is the same which was from the beginning. And we know that he was interested in seeking for power for himself, and so God cast him down. But we don't know what his name actually was before that, or even if there was a different name associated to him. Let me know how helpful you think it is to understand this. I would be curious to know why or if it matters to you. Again, like I said, I think it's important to understand the interpretation of our scriptures, where they come from, and what they really mean, because it can help give us a more correct understanding of them and what they mean and how they can apply for us in our day-to-day lives. And I am grateful to know that we have the scriptures, we have different interpretations and different translations, and we have additional scriptures that also help confirm that there was Satan in the beginning and he was cast down. I am grateful for the gospel, and I hope that you are spending time in the gospel as well, and that it brings peace and joy to your hearts. And I look forward to seeing you next time.